These ideologies are just things that people gravitate towards because they feel it will strengthen their position in society. It will strengthen their security levels in their own lives.
Oh, what a crock of shit. Alright, I mean, really. People spend their... Like Charles Darwin wasn't looking for an ideology that would make him king of England. Alright? He was trying to observe reality and describe how the fuck the system works. Alright? And that's in people who would sit there and find it compelling logic. Aren't sitting there with some agenda that they were going to use this belief system to disempower the world and rule over them and tell them they need to cut their hair or some of the bullshit. I mean, fuck you. You take this hierarchy crap this way too fucking far.
I don't give a fuck. I don't think it's important to sit on YouTube and constantly, you know, put down people who believe something that they can't prove. Because that's you justifying to yourself your own ego.
Oh, bullshit. Alright, that's how you form majorities that make sense. That's the only way you do. If the majority is deluded and irrational, and you do nothing to change that, that's the definition of useless asshole. I mean, that's what we'll write on your tombstone. Useless asshole. He just sat around and watched the majority, eat their own ass. I mean, that's just stupid.
Deny, because it's a dangerous thing to admit. It's a dangerous thing to say that ideology doesn't really matter. It's the people in the ideologies that actually matter. That guns don't kill people.
It's a stupid thing to say. It's not dangerous, it's dangerously stupid. Okay? Ideology is everything. Because if you get that fucking right, then you have something. You have something to build a life on. You get it wrong, then all this human interaction is a complete waste, because it's human interaction on top of quicksand. Alright? You will choke and die. Alright? It is not a survivable interaction. It's not a worthwhile interaction. It's a useless dance if it's on bullshit.
Because people want to take over the world. Fighting the ideas seems kind of pointless in those circumstances, because there will always be ideas that people will cling to justify their behaviour.
Yeah, that's right. There will be memes that will run the fucking world. And it would be really stupid for people not to get into that fight for what memes will run the fucking world. That would be idiotic if you believe you have built a logical and meaningful understanding, and you just sit back and say, no, I will just let chaos or bullshit, complete bullshit, run the world. That is just completely irresponsible. As I stated, there's no better definition of a useless fucktard.
And then Mendham's a prime example of that. He claims to be completely rational and logical, but
I claim that our intellect is capable of being a logical thinking machine, and that we have subjective drives and desires that will pollute it if we are not cautious to prevent that from fucking goddamn happening. And if I'm going to argue a fact, I defend the fact, okay? I give you the logic. I give you as much diagram as I can possibly can to defend the premise, the statement, the conclusion, all right? I don't declare it as a truth and say believe it or not.
Cheese chasing game of Matrix love, that if somebody doesn't want to go into the Matrix, well, as long as the majority votes for everybody to go into the Matrix, they will be forced in, because they will be out.
Yeah, and I explained why it has to be that way, all right? And you're just going to ignore that argument. There's no point, if you have a diseased individual, there's no point in creating another individual right next to it and curing the other individual and just leaving the diseased individual the way it was diseased. That's not a cure. That's not a solution to the problem. The solution isn't to create some parallel working system. The solution is to fix the broken system. You either replace the system that exists or you fix the system that exists, but there's no point in putting another system someplace else and saying, look, it's not as broken as this. That's stupid.
Rational if they don't want to do what the majority tells them to do. They will be forced into the Matrix, or, probably die trying. Murder will be legitimised because it's rational and logical.
Yeah, look, that's another, just, there's 5, 6, 7 videos on the subject. All right, the idea was not to murder. The idea was, yeah, you don't get the right to repopulate the disease. You don't get the right to create the same unsustainable bullshit on the outside world as existed before, because we are doing the virtual reality to fix the goddamn human condition, not to sit there and create some playground for some portion of the human condition. So fuck you. You talk about perversion and distortions. That's all you're about. I mean, again, why can't you quote me directly, you fucker?
Because the ideology is solid. Why? Just in the same way it's solid for Islamic fundamentalists, the same way it's solid for Christian fundamentalists.
Yeah, fuck you again. I mean, just really, fuck you. Alright, I've got 1,000 videos explaining why I believe what I believe, and why I advocate what I believe. It's there. People can argue with it. They can sit there and point to it and say, wow, this doesn't make sense. Or they can ask me the question, well, what's your heaven look like? Or, what do you mean? How do you know this guy 900 years ago knew what the fuck he was talking about? Or how do you know this miracle happened and it wasn't a reed seed, or it wasn't this, or it wasn't that? I can be scrutinized. I can be interrogated. And instead of that, all I am is maligned and distorted by fuckers like you.